Hope you are as well.
I am. I am.
Let's see, the SAP reset date, please.
It's February the 18th.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. We're providing you with the assistance of a public defender this afternoon if you choose to utilize their service and do not have a private attorney. Where would you all like to start this afternoon?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is ACDC. I have before you petition number 7.
Good afternoon, Officer Milton.
Good afternoon, sir.
And let me make sure that, who do we have representing Ms. Estes this afternoon? Ms. Kim, good, good, good afternoon. And this is your case, Ms. McCockey?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Ms. Estes, you've been charged in case 25 CR 0000526E with battery family violence. Good afternoon, Ms. Harvey. Is there a history?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Yes, 3 cycles out of Illinois. Last arrest was in 2020 out of Illinois for driving on a revoked license and operating an uninsured motor vehicle. That was a conviction. Nothing further to add.
Thank you. Ms. McCockey?
Yes, Your Honor. Out of Illinois, it also showed that she had a 2019 arrest for domestic battery bodily harm and domestic battery physical contact. The victim in this case, the battery family violence, is Malik Sabur, who lives with the defendant and is also in a relationship with her. The incident location is 1085 Peoples Street Southwest in Atlanta. The defendant is accused of striking the victim in the face, causing bruising and bleeding to his lip. Officers did note in the warrant that she was intoxicated at the time of the incident. The state's recommendation is a signature bond, no further contact with Malik Sabur, stay away from the incident location, that she undergo some anger awareness, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. Our office did try to contact Mr. Sabur, but we were not successful as of court starting today. But I would just ask that you sound for him in case he is on the Zoom.
Can you spell the last name for me, Ms. McCockey, please?
Sabir.
If Mr. Malik Sabur is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Doesn't appear so. Yes, Ms. Kim.
Yes, it seems like there was, we do not have any objection to signature on bond. We request for pretrial service level 1 and just one-time law enforcement officer escorted visit to retrieve her personal belongings, including her car. Your Honor, I believe he was also arrested. That's the way my client was told by the officer, but I don't have any record of him being actually booked in yet.
Thank you, Ms. Kim. As such, it will be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with the alleged victim. Stay away from the Peoples Street address. She can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Estes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Officer Milton?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do we have Rachel Hagan there with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Can we do her next? I believe this is Mr. Watson's case. Is that right, Attorney Watson?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you. And this is was she an add-on to the calendar? I don't see her on my calendar. Do we know?
On, Your Honor, position number 9. Kahan. position number 9 on the calendar.
Okay, and this is the same as Rachel Hagan, Mr. Watson?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry about that, the confusion. Yes, so Rachel Kahn on your calendar, correct.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Khan. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0000535F with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Harvey?
Yes, Your Honor, 5 cycles. Last arrest was January 16th, 2022 for DUI out of Lawrenceville, Georgia. That was a conviction. There's also a conviction from 2014 for furnishing to purchase of or possession of by a person below legal age of alcoholic beverages. If released on a UJR, recommendation is level 1. Nothing further.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Allen.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Thank you. This is an incident from the 1st of February. Police in Johns Creek were called to 985 Brazeridge Way. The victim in this case is the spouse of the defendant. His name is Muhammad Khan. He reported that his wife, during an argument about finances, slapped him multiple times on the right side of his face. He was seen to have red marks on his face. She had fled when police were on the scene, but later police returned because she came back to the location and she was arrested. She does have that prior conviction. We're asking for a $2,000 surety, Your Honor, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and no further violent contact. We did speak to Mr. Khan today. He reports that this is not a usual occurrence, that he's not afraid of the defendant. I believe they've got a small child, and he also reported that he's going to be staying somewhere else for the time being. If you would sound for Mr. Khan. Thank you.
Mr. Khan, I see you on the line. If you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. I'll need for you to raise your right hand for me, please, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can place your hand down. Thank you, sir. What would you like to tell the court?
First, I'd like to start with my wife does not belong in the system. She's a new mother dealing with postpartum, a new baby, demanding work, and trying to work on a currently rocky relationship. In regards to the situation that occurred on Saturday, it could have totally been avoided if I weren't being hard-headed myself during the argument. Rachel asked me to leave and give her space well before the cops were called. Looking back at the situation, I could have and should have given her space to cool off. Rachel does not deserve to belong in the system. She is not a criminal. She was in a difficult situation, and I failed to be the man I needed to be for my wife at that moment. We are actively looking for counseling. It's been rough. Been going through insurance. It doesn't seem like we can find someone through insurance, so we plan on doing that out of pocket. In the meantime, as Anna mentioned, I am staying away from the house. That way she can return home and have the space she needs to figure out everything that's going on between us and with this. I'd like to reiterate that we do have a small child, and I definitely need her help in raising him. And this is not a usual occurrence. All been avoided if we were both being reasonable at the time. I failed in that sense as well. That's all, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. I appreciate you being here this afternoon. Mr. Watson?
Your Honor, everything that Ms. Allen had stated is certainly correct from my knowledge of the case. I'll leave it to Your Honor. $2,000 surety bond we would not object to. Our main priorities are that these two parties be allowed to have contact, but simply no violent or abusive contact with each other. And as to that, I wanted to clarify that what Mr. Khan had touched on, we'd certainly ask my client be allowed to reside at that residence, which is the incident, the incident location. I believe for the time being, Mr. Khan has made arrangements to vacate that residence, Judge. Those are our priorities.
Okay, thank you. As such, it will be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Mr. Khan, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you both, Mr. and Ms. Khan. Anything further this afternoon, Mr. Watson?
Not on my part. No, Your Honor. Rachel, I will contact your family and let them know what's going on. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Have a good afternoon.
May I be excused? Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Who do we have next?
Good afternoon, Judge Morrow. Hope you're doing well. This is going to be position number 1, Mr. Barnes.
Thank you. I am, Francois. I hope you are as well.
Thank you.
Mr. Barnes, good afternoon. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0000534E with reckless driving, expired or no license plate or decal, driving while your license was suspended or revoked, fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer, failure to maintain insurance, and failure to obey traffic signal or light. Is there a history, Ms. Harvey?
Yes, Your Honor. 7 cycles. Last arrest was January 15th of this year out of Cherokee County for driving while license suspended or revoked and for possession of marijuana less than an ounce. That does appear to be an open case. Also appears to be on probation out of Douglas County for armed robbery, burglary, and aggravated assault, sentenced in 2008 to 20 years probation. In addition, there is a 2015 conviction for 2 counts of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer and an FTA from 2021. If released on the UJR, recommendation is level 3. Nothing further.
Thank you. Ms. McConkey?
Yes, Your Honor. On the date of the incident, officers were trying to initiate a traffic stop due to the defendant having an expired tag. The officer turned on his lights and sirens and then waited for the light to turn green so that he could pull the defendant over. When the light did turn green, the defendant, instead of pulling over, started to drive at a high rate of speed and disobeyed numerous traffic laws while trying to flee from the police officers. He crashed into 2 vehicles, then exited his vehicle and proceeded to flee on foot. The defendant was eventually located on Georgia Tech's campus and taken into custody. Upon his arrest, it was also discovered that his license was suspended for a failure to appear violation and he did not have adequate insurance. The state's recommendation is a $3,000 surety bond, no driving without a valid license and valid documentation, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, my client, Mr. Barnes, is 38 years old. He was born and raised here in Georgia. He does have 5 children that he's supporting as a sole provider, aged from 12 to 17, Your Honor. Ever since he got GED, he has been working 2 jobs to make sure that he's able to provide financially for his 5 children, Your Honor. He does have to go back and to take care of them. We would like to request for a signature on bond, regardless of what level it is, even though it is level 3. It would help him to be responsible for his financial obligations. These are traffic violation, and I really want him to get a signature on bond. Thanks.
Reckless driving, it'll be $1,000 good bond. For the fleeing or attempting to elude, it'll be $1,000 good bond. For each of the other charges, it will be a $250 good bond per charge. That makes for a total of a $3,000 good bond. No driving without a valid license, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Barnes.
Thank you.
Next, Judge, we'll have position number 3, Mr. Brown.
How you doing, Your Honor?
I'm doing well, Mr. Brown. Good afternoon. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0000529B with simple assault, family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Harvey?
Yes, Your Honor. 11 cycles. Last arrest was in 2013 out of Forest Park for possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Completed the conditional discharge program. Also a 2008 conviction for willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer misdemeanor. 1 arrest out of Tennessee as well, Your Honor, and nothing further. If released on the UJR, recommendation is level 1. Nothing further.
Thank you, Ms. McConkey.
Your Honor, the victim in this case is Anita Boatwright, who is the mother of the defendant's girlfriend and also was living in the same residence as the defendant. The incident location is 4170 Glad Morning Drive in Atlanta. The parties were having a verbal dispute when the defendant attempted to strike the victim with a closed fist, which caused her to fear for her safety. Parts of the incident were captured on cell phone video. Our office has spoken with Ms. Boatwright, who confirmed that they all do live at that incident location. She states that the defendant grabbed her arm and pushed her, which caused her to fall. She states that she had a bruise on her arm as a result of this, and the defendant also broke her bracelet. She states this is not the first time she has had issues with the defendant, but this is the first time that he has been physical with her. She states that she wants no contact with him and wants him to stay away from the residence. The state's recommendation for Mr. Brown is a signature bond, no further contact with Anita Boatwright, stay away from that incident location, that he undergo some anger awareness, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. If you could please sound for Ms. Boatwright.
Ms. McCockey, can you tell me again who Ms. Boatwright is to Mr. Brown?
She is the mother of his girlfriend.
Okay, thank you. If Ms. Boatwright is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Brown, we have no objection to signature on bond during pretrial level 1. Only thing that I want to mention is that it was a self-defense for him who had a weapons attacking him. So I believe that he is innocent from this incident, and UJR number 1 is fine, Your Honor.
Does he need to go back to that location to retrieve any belongings, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. One-time law enforcement officer escorted visit will be great.
Okay. It will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Boatwright, stay away from the Glad Morning Drive address. He can go back to that address on one occasion give me a moment, put your hand down, Mr. Brown, I'll be with you. Let me get through what I'm saying. Stay away from that location, a one-time escort to retrieve any belongings, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Ms. Kim, your client had his hand up.
Mr. Brown, you got signature on bond. If you have any question, please feel free to call me. I'll be happy to answer all your questions. You have a right to remain silent, Mr. Brown.
I think he has a question about the stay away. Is that your question?
Yes, sir. I paid the majority of the rent there. She doesn't even.
His name is on the list.
Me.
Okay, let's say that.
Carlton Brown is on the lease.
Okay, so
Renita's
Mr.
on the lease. And
Mr. Brown, if your mother-in-law, Ms. Boatwright, if she's there, then you can't go back there. If she's not there, if she leaves that residence, then you can go back. But as long as she is at the Glad Morning Drive address, then you necessarily can't be there, okay?
And the landlord, the guy that owns the place doesn't want her there. And he's trying
he's gonna have to go through some type of legal process to get her out, or you're gonna have to go through some type of legal process to get her out. But as long as she is residing there, you necessarily can't be there, okay? Good luck to you, sir.
Next, we have petition 11, Ms. Kimball.
Good afternoon, Ms. Kimball. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0000530A with battery and criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Ms. Harvey?
One arrest from 2021 for a DUI out of Atlanta. No disposition was listed. Usually our recommendation is level 1. Nothing further.
Thank you, Ms. Allen.
Thank you, Honor. 1 second. I apologize. This is an incident that just occurred. Police were called to apartment 1421 at 3005 Peachtree, Your Honor, on the 1st of February this weekend. This call was made after. Actually, there were multiple calls made. I apologize. When police got on scene, they made contact with the victim. Her name is, and I'm going to spell it for you as well. Excuse me, sorry. First name is Kaisha, C''AISHA, last name Edwards. She reported that she'd been on the phone with police and speaking with security for the last 2 hours. She said that she and another friend who was also present and a witness, Lindsay Burnett, and the defendant had all gone out that evening on the town. The defendant became intoxicated and her car keys were taken from her by security at the location they were all out at. The security guard at that location assisted them in getting her into her vehicle, and Mrs. Edwards and Mrs. Burnett took her back home to the 3005 Peachtree Road location. That's where Mrs. Edwards lives. There, the defendant decided she wanted to take a shower. There ended up being an argument because she was just letting the water run and not getting into the shower. She was intoxicated. At that point, she pushed and then punched Mrs. Edwards in the forehead. She had visible swelling to her forehead when she spoke to police. The witness corroborated what had happened, and the defendant was located in the lobby with security. She was obviously intoxicated based on the information from the police documents, and she reported that her purse and her phone were still upstairs. We haven't had a chance to speak to the victim today, Your Honor. The defendant does have a prior DUI conviction, I believe. We're asking for a $4,000 surety. The criminal trespass in this case, which is also corroborated by the witness, Your Honor, the defendant is alleged to have gone and gotten a knife and then used that knife to slash and damage the bedroom door where the victim, Mrs. Edwards, had barricaded herself while she called 911. So this is an intoxicated incident, very heavily intoxicated individual on scene who caused damage not just to property, but using a weapon and a visible injury to the victim who was just trying to help someone out when they were intoxicated and get them home. If you would mind calling for Mrs. Edwards in case she got our messages today. Thank you.
If Ms. Keisha Edwards is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Doesn't appear so. Mr. McLean? You have to come off mute. Thank
Good
you.
afternoon, Your Honor. Thank you, Deputy. Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Kimball is 28 years old. She's been in Georgia for 11 years, so I pretty much call her local. She's only 28 and been here over a decade. She's got a bachelor's in sociology. The DUI, I believe, was from 2021. I don't know if that was from some of our computer stuff, so I don't know if that was from the date of occurrence or date of disposition on the DUI. She works, she's been unemployed for a few months, but she works different gig type things, doing projects on the internet, and she's looking for a job that would be commensurate with her bachelor's in sociology. We would ask the court to consider a signature bond given the time since the DUI and also given the overall charges. Thank you.
Okay, for the battery, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the criminal trespass, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Ms. Edwards. Stay away from the Peachtree address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Ms. Kimball, you're to have no alcohol while you're out on bond. If you do consume alcohol and the court finds out about it, this bond will be revoked. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Next,
We have
Judge,
next.
we have position number 5, Daniel.
Good afternoon, Mr. Daniel. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0000532D with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Harvey?
Yes, Your Honor, 19 cycles. Last arrest was April 15, 2022 for probation violation out of Spalding County. A 2018 conviction for printing, executing, or negotiating checks in error. 2017 possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Also 2017 forgery in the 4th degree. And a criminal trespass conviction from 2021. Nothing further.
Ms. McConkey?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred at the Oakland City MARTA station located at 1400 Lee Street Southwest in Atlanta. The defendant is accused of trespassing at the property while having an active 60-day suspension that went into effect December 31st, 2024. The state's recommendation is a signature bond, stay away from all MARTA locations in compliance with any active bans, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
I kind of missed, was it a signature on bond, the recommendation?
Yes, it was a signature.
Yes, we have no objection, Your Honor. He has been here in Georgia all his life. He resides with his mother. He's not a flight risk, and we would like to request for signature on bond.
Okay, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Abide by any active MARTA suspensions, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Daniel. Who do we have next?
Petition number 12, Ms. McQueenie.
Good afternoon, Ms. McQueen. Ms. McQueenie, you have been charged in case 25 CR 0000524J with simple battery. Is there a history, Ms. Harvey?
The last arrest, Your Honor, was in 2009 out of Arizona for an assault. There was a misdemeanor conviction. Also has a conviction for assault from 1986 out of California. Nothing further.
Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident that occurred in August of this year, on the 12th of August, 2024, specifically at the Floor and Decor store, that all rhymes, on Holcomb Bridge. Police responded to that location on a report of an assault. They met with the victim. Her name is Gloria Guevara. She reported that she is a co-worker of the defendants, or was at that time, that during a discussion where the victim was at a counter making a phone call. The defendant came over, was looking through paperwork, and she got angry at the victim. The defendant in front of you slapped the victim multiple times on her face. And she reports that she had actually a visible injury as a result. That's what she told us when we spoke with her today. She also said that this had not been the first time that there'd been an incident, and it had turned physical with this defendant. And the victim, unfortunately, lost her job as a victim of a crime. She lost her job at that location. A warrant has been outstanding since this incident in August, and now we have Mrs. McQueenie in front of us, Your Honor. We're asking for a $1,000 surety bond. No contact with the victim, Mrs. Guevara, and to stay away from that location. Again, that is the Floor and Decor on Holcomb Bridge Road. The address specifically says 600 through 100 Holcomb Bridge Road. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Thank you. If you'd call for Mrs. Guevara, just in case she's joined us.
If Ms. Guevara is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, but I can't see you.
The video for some reason.
I'll need for you to activate your camera for me, please, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh. Yes, ma'am. And you are Gloria Guevara, is that right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me, please, ma'am? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
I'd like to tell the court that due to the situation, it's been a traumatic issue for me, losing my job in the same week that my mother passed. I have tried everything in my power during that time at Floor and Decor, be friendly, to be kind, and to actually be a great coworker. On those 2 attempts prior, Ms. McKinney was very aggressive with verbal communication. I do feel that there is some underlying issues, some anger issues that I feel the court should address. The incident in that day really took me back because what I had expected, some violence, be what it was. I really losing my job, like I said, was not what I was expecting. I did not intend to hit me for this which happened.
I can't.
Can you hear me?
Ms. Guevara, we're having trouble. You're going in and out on us. So I'm catching some of what you say, but not everything that you're saying.
Are you able to hear me okay now?
Yes, go ahead.
I just feel that Mrs. King needs to be held accountable, and I do feel like she has some underlying anger issues because in the past I tried my best to make this best communication. On 2 incidents, I did have to write a report to Florida Decor. The first incident was basically letting me know she doesn't like me. The second incident was calling me out my name, and the third incident was physical assault, which I was not expecting and was traumatized. And losing my job was not something that I really wanted to have happen. And at the time, my mom had passed. I just want to address the board and let you know that I really feel that this person does have something that needs worked on.
Okay, I appreciate you being here this afternoon, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Mr. McLean?
I didn't quite catch all that, but I usually don't get into the facts anyway, Your Honor. The facts will come out at the jury trial. If there's a video available, it can be determined who was at fault and that sort of thing, if anyone. My client is Miss McQueenie. She lives in Cumming, Georgia, the stable address. The arrest record is what the clerk read out. She's 71 years old. She would ask the court, considering all these circumstances, to give her a signature bond. She was fired that day, and she did not seek to take out any warrant on anybody. I don't know how the case proceeded, but that's what she was experiencing. She lost her job and has not been back there since. We would ask the court to consider signature bond. Thank you.
Okay, it will be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. 3 days of anger awareness. No further contact. Miss Guevara. Stay away from the floor and decor on Holcomb Bridge Road. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Miss McQueenie. You as well, Miss Guevara. Who do we have next?
Position number 4, Crawford.
Good afternoon, Mr. Crawford. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0000531A with criminal trespass and reckless conduct. Is there a history, Ms. Harvey?
Yes, Your Honor. 3 cycles. Last arrest July 28, 2024, out of Fulton County for interference with government property and aggravated assault. The aggravated assault was dismissed, Your Honor. On probation for the interference with government property, sentenced to 2 years probation. Also, a 2019 conviction for criminal trespass and received first offender for battery family violence, which was sealed in 2017. Nothing further.
Ms. McConkey?
Your Honor, this incident happened at the Civic Center station located at 435 West Peachtree Street Northwest in Atlanta. The defendant is accused of climbing over the fence and walking onto the ledge of the walkway that spans Interstate 7585. While on that ledge, he is accused of dancing and acting erratically. His actions did cause the highway to be shut down for over 3 hours during rush hour traffic, and multiple emergency response personnel from several agencies, as well as the general public, were impacted by his actions. According to the warrant, this is the 4th time that the defendant has done something like this. He also has a permanent ban from MARTA that was issued December 30th of last year. Given the facts of the case and the fact that he has allegedly done this numerous times, there is concern not just for the safety of the general public, but also a concern for the defendant's well-being. The state's recommendation at this time is a $3,000 surety bond, stay away from all MARTA locations, that he have a social worker visit, and he also have an MHET, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. If he does make bond, we just need a plan to be put in place to ensure that something like this doesn't happen for the 5th time. That is all, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. He is 8 years old. He was born and raised here in Georgia. Even though he does have a father here in Georgia, he is currently residentially challenged. Yes, he does have some MH issues, and that's why he needs some help with a social worker, and also outside of the jail, he does have some help, medical help. So we would like to request for a signature on bond, maybe with a through pretrial level 3. And he also has a probation violation because of that. It's not like he's going anywhere, Your Honor. So I want criminal trespass to be signature on bond. Thank you.
Was he taken to Grady after the incident, Ms. Kim?
I don't think so, Your Honor. I think that's more appropriate than being in a jail.
Okay, so what I want to happen is that given that he has this probation violation that he's gonna have to get heard on, I want him to have a social worker visit to assess whether he needs an MHET.
Yes, Your
So
Honor.
I will see him back on February 18th at the SAP calendar. Please make note, Ms. Kim, that your contemporary should inform me about the need or lack of need for an MHET
Yes,
at that
Your Honor.
time, okay?
Yes.
So for the criminal trespass, it's gonna be a $500 good bond. For the reckless, it'll be $1,000 good bond, makes for a total of a $1,500 good bond. A social worker visit to assess for an MHET, or at least for housing, to assist with housing. Given that he has a permanent ban from MARTA, he's to stay away from all MARTA and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Yes.
Okay, good luck to you, Mr. Crawford.
Thank you.
Next, we have position 18, Ms. White.
Good afternoon, Ms. White. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0000537G, battery family violence and simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Harvey?
No, Your Honor. First arrest recommended for UJR jail. Nothing further.
Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident from the 31st of January at about 10:30 p.m. The victim in this case is the 17-year-old daughter of this defendant. Her name is Paris Goodwin, I believe. Hold on, let me make sure and pull it up. I don't want to give you the wrong information. Essentially, during a argument with her daughter, the defendant grabbed her daughter by the hair and shoved her to the ground. The defendant told police after she made admissions just that she had behaved in this manner. She told police that she believed that she was appropriately disciplining her child. She was trying to pull her into the residence. This is a 435 Fitzgerald Place in Atlanta, and this happened at 10:30 p.m. An anonymous citizen actually made a 911 call and said she had heard screaming and shouting outside of her residence. And when she came outside, she observed mom, the defendant, pulling the daughter by her hair as her daughter was on the ground. The victim reported that mom was angry with her, Mrs. Paris Goodwin, the 17-year-old, because they had been arguing while the young lady was at school earlier that day. So the school day ends at 3:30 o'clock in the afternoon. This is now 10:30 p.m. on the 31st, and police are being called. The young woman had a visible laceration to the right side of her head, and blood on that area. We haven't had a chance to speak to the victim this morning because she is a minor, and that makes it difficult in some of these situations. But we're asking for a $2,000 surety, Your Honor. She's got no prior history, no violent contact, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and anger awareness, if you would please.
Mr. McLean?
Thank you, Honor. Ms. Tiffany White is 43. She does have the stable address at Colorado Trail in city of South Fulton. She's a single mom. She has one daughter graduating from college right now, and I think it's a couple more in high school. She works for a treasury department, and she is gainfully employed for years and years that way. They don't get any support from their dad, who's in Texas. The minors don't. So she's been struggling for years as a single mom, just trying to make it that way. But given the nature of the two counts before us, and given her background, I would ask the court to allow her to have a signature bond.
Okay, for the battery, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. With a simple battery, a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. 1 day anger awareness, 1 parenting class, no further violent contact with Miss Goodwin, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Miss White. Okay, are we done this afternoon, Officer
Yes,
Milton?
Your Honor.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Next, Judge, we have position number 6, Davidson.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Davidson. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0000527C with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Miss Harvey?
Yes, Your Honor. Last arrest, October 29, 2024, out of Atlanta for criminal trespass. Defendant appears to have an open case out of Atlanta for possession of marijuana less than an ounce. That arrest date was June 6, 2024. Also appears to have an open case for willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Offense date was March 21st, 2024. A 2024 conviction for theft by shoplifting, and nothing further, Your Honor.
Aki.
Your Honor, this incident occurred at the Lowry Food Mart located at 644 Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard Northwest in Atlanta. The defendant is accused of returning to the location after receiving a criminal trespass warning on December 22nd, 2024. Given that he has some open cases, the state's recommendation is a $1,000 surety bond. Stay away from the incident location. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. There is a concern that upon release, he will reoffend, Your Honor. That is all.
Thank you, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor, we do have a good phone number for him. He has been here in Georgia for last 18 years. Even though he didn't graduate from high school, he studied up to 9th grade. And Your Honor, he does have his grandmother here locally. I believe that he is not a danger to the community. He will come back to the court. He has been struggling with unemployment for last year. However, he is trying to launch his own clothing brand. We would like to request for a signature on bond, no matter how many level that he has to have through the pretrial, maybe level 3, Your Honor. Thanks.
Okay, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. Stay away from that food mart on Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. I'm going to let you out, Mr. Davidson, but you can't go back to that food mart, okay? Otherwise, they're going to arrest you, and I'm not going to give you a signature bond next time, okay? All right, good luck to you, sir.
Judge, was that a 3,000?
That was 2.
2,000, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Position number 8, Jackson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jackson. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0000525J with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Harvey?
Yes, Your Honor, 4 cycles. Last arrest was May 7th, 2024 for theft by receiving stolen property. That case is open under 24 PI 003208. 1 LTA from 2024 as well, Your Honor. Nothing further.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. I have that this incident occurred October 6th of 2024 at 3048 Middleton Road Northwest in Atlanta. The victim in this case is Tion Thomas, who shares a child with the defendant. The parties were having a verbal dispute after the victim came home from celebrating her birthday. When she came home that morning, the defendant was waiting for her at the bottom of the stairwell and kept telling her to come inside, to which she refused and began walking towards the leasing office. The parties continued to argue back and forth, and the defendant slapped the victim in the face, which left a bruise. Our office has tried to contact Ms. Thomas, but we have not been successful in our efforts thus far. The state's recommendation for the defendant is a $2,500 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond, and that he undergo some anger awareness. I would ask that you sound for Ms. Tion Thomas.
If Ms. Thomas is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Doesn't appear so. Ms. Kim?
Your Honor, my client denies the allegation, and Your Honor, they have not had any contact, actually for a long time, with Mr. Jackson did not have contact with Ms. Thomas. They have broken up, and they do have two children together. He has not been able to have any employment for a couple of months, and he is trying to get a job. And he was born and raised here in Georgia. He resides with his mother. He is stable here in Georgia. So we would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial level 3. Thanks.
So he doesn't need to go back to that Middleton Road address?
No, not at all.
Okay. It will be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Thomas, stay away from the Middleton Road address, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Number 10, Kilpatrick.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kilpatrick. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0000533Y with battery family violence and simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Harvey?
10 cycles. Last arrest was out of Clayton County, September 2nd, 2022, for possession of a Schedule 1 controlled substance and affixing materials that reduce or increase light transmission. That case was dismissed. There are convictions from 2010 for willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer and criminal trespass, and a 2009 aggravated assault, terroristic threats, carrying a concealed weapon, and possession of a pistol or revolver for a person under 18 years of age, and nothing further.
Allen.
Thank you, Your Honor. This defendant just was convicted. I believe he got a first offender disposition, out of Clayton County for felony drugs. That disposition is December the 19th, 2024. So he's currently under sentence. He has an open kidnapping case out of Clayton County from 2022. That's 2022 CR 02131. He has an aggravated assault out of Clayton County that he also was allowed to do first offender on. I'm not sure how that works. My reading of the law doesn't say you can do that, but okay. This is an incident from September. So September the 23rd of 2024 at about 6 p.m., police were called to 2685 Metropolitan Avenue Southeast. There they met with the victim, Linnell Berry. She reported that her live-in boyfriend at that time had assaulted her, dragged her on the ground after grabbing her by her hair. He ripped multiple braids from her head. She had bloody, bald spots on her head, and multiple braids were seen removed from her head by police. She reported that they'd had an argument, and he demanded that she get in the car. When she refused, he grabbed her by the hair and swung her around. The victim reported she's got 2 children. It's unclear that they are the defendants, but she was living with him at the time, and there are 2 other police reports related to violence in that home, Your Honor. We haven't had a chance to speak to Mrs. Berry this morning. We did leave her some messages if you'd sound for her in case she was able to join us. We're asking for a $4,000 surety, no contact with Linnell Berry, and that's spelled L-Y-N-E-L-L-E. Berry, Berry. Stay away from wherever she may be living at this time. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Thank you.
If Ms. Liddell Berry is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Mr. McLean.
Your Honor, Darius Kilpatrick is from Georgia. He is 32 years old. I believe it's the incident location he says is his place, and that the other person is gone. He drives a bus, and for the last couple of years. Before that, he drove Kroger delivery for about a year. And before that, he drove for Amazon for about a year. And before that, he drove a forklift for a warehouse. So basically, his job is driving. Nothing further to add. We would ask the court to consider a signature bond if that's possible. And if that's not possible, then a $1,000 surety.
Okay, for the battery, it'll be a $1,500 good bond. For the simple battery, a $500 good bond. Makes for a total of a $2,000 good bond. No further contact with Miss Liddell Berry. Stay away from her residential address. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Kilpatrick.
Thank you. She my only hope. My girlfriend that's online right now. She the only person that can consign me out. Can I tell her to come down here, because I don't have nobody else.
Okay. You're fine, Mr. Kilpatrick. So who are you referring to?
With Nika Robinson.
Okay, so Miss Robinson, you'll have to wait till he can get processed out. So you might want to call down to the jail before you come down there, because it might take some time for the jail to process him out. But if you'll give them a call, they'll let you know when you can come and pick him up if you choose to. Okay.
Okay, I was already here. Do you know how long it would take? Because I can come back if you need me to.
Well, that's up to you, but it's going to be a while. So
Okay.
it could take up to 24 hours.
Okay,
Okay. All right. Good luck to y'all.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Number 13, McWhirter.
Good afternoon. Mr. McWhirter, you have been charged in case 25 CR 0000540J with disorderly conduct, willful obstruction of law enforcement officers, and criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Ms. Harvey?
21 cycles. Last arrest January 8, 2025 out of Dunwoody for disorderly conduct. Appears to be an open case, Your Honor. Also appears to have an open case out of DeKalb County for theft by shoplifting, and an open case for entering also out of DeKalb County. Conviction from 2022 for battery, 2016 simple battery, 2014 disorderly conduct, and 2010 theft by receiving stolen property and giving false name, address, or birthday to law enforcement officer. There are also 2 FTAs in the history, Your Honor, and nothing further.
Thank you, Ms. Allen.
Your Honor, this is an incident out of College Park on the 1st of February at 2330 Godby Road. That's actually in front of a precinct. Police encountered the defendant there. He was behaving in a violent manner. He came over to a police cruiser where Officer Robinson was specifically there at the location, and started to aggressively slam his fist into the side of the vehicle. There was a visible dent. He damaged the police cruiser. He fled when police tried to detain him and intervene with his behavior. He's charged with disorderly just for being in that environment and acting in a way that makes people believe that they're may be injured or their property may be damaged. And in fact, he did then damage the property of the police department. We'd ask for a mental health evaluation, Your Honor. We'd also ask for a $3,000 surety to stay away from that location, 2330 Godby Road, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. I do note that from 2019, his battery conviction here in this jurisdiction, you did just hear about open cases in DeKalb. He was previously on the competency calendar. but those are the last cases I see in Fulton, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, I did plan to have a social worker visit for the competency issue, but we would ask the court to set a bond as appropriate, and we'll follow through with that. He does have a disability income, Your Honor, and he is 32 years old. He's got a stable address, but it is 2200 Godby Road, and so it's going to be important to make sure there's nothing further at that area. So instruction is going to have to be a discussion that's very precise, Your Honor. But the disability income could be cut off after 30 days of being in jail if he doesn't get out. So I would like to figure out a way to have him out. I've talked to his sister. I've tried to reach his relatives, but we would ask the court to consider an appropriate bond given the circumstances.
Okay, if you will continue to do that, or you, Mr. McLean, so I will order a social worker visit, but make sure that they report back to me on February 18th at the SAP calendar, if he's not out by that time, so that we can, so that I can continue to work with him. For each count, it's going to be a $500 good bond, makes for a total of a $1,500 good bond. A social worker visit to assess for the need for BHET. Stay away from the 2330 Godby Road address. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. McCorder.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay. Position number 14, Mr. Paz.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pass. Let me know when you're ready for me.
Pass. Exemption.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Pass. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0000539G with criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Ms. Harvey?
Yes, Your Honor. 3 cycles. Last arrest was January 28, 2023, out of Milton, Georgia, for misdemeanor charges of stalking and criminal trespass. That is open under 23 CR 0000554G. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Allen.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident that happened yesterday, the 2nd of February. Essentially, this 24-year-old defendant is the older brother of the victim, who is 15. We have not had a chance to speak with her today. Her name is Tamia Tomlinson. Her mother, Denise Holder, who is present on the Zoom, did speak with us. Police were called based on the fact that the individual in front of you, in an attempt to discipline his younger sister, tried to take her phone from her. She didn't want to go to basketball practice, maybe, and told her mother that she was tired. The defendant in front of you said that she was being disrespectful, and so he was disciplining her. He got into a physical altercation, trying to take the phone from her and smashed it into the wall. We did speak to mom, Mrs. Holder. She said that they all lived together at the incident location. She confirmed what happened. She said nothing like this has happened before, and she's planning to have her son stay somewhere else for a period of time. She's requesting that the court order no prohibition on contact or the defendant being in her home. I would also reiterate, we have not had a chance to speak to the 15-year-old today. She's the actual victim of, the physical part of this case, Your Honor. And the defendant you did hear is out on bond and is currently in the diversion program for that 23 CR stalking and criminal trespass case. We're asking for $1,000 surety, no violent contact, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. The location of this incident, Your Honor, is 10105 West Side Parkway in Alpharetta. I believe there is an apartment number associated with that, 117. And if you would call for Mrs. Holder. Thank you.
Yes, I see you there, Ms. Holder. If you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity, ma'am. If you'll raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, ma'am. You may place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
I just wanted to reiterate what the lady said before me. This has never happened before. All my three kids, I'm a single mom. We all live together, and of the three kids, him and Tamia are the closest. He takes her to practice. He helps me out a lot, taking her and picking her up from practice, cooking for the kids when I can't because of work. Um, I just wanted to reiterate that again. I think he was defending me. She was extremely rude, but at the same time, that wasn't his property. It wasn't the wall. He threw it on the floor just to make that correction. But I am asking the court for some leniency.
Okay, so Rashawn lives with you at the West Side Parkway address, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Is he working?
No, he's unemployed. He's looking for a job.
Okay, he's what, 24 years old? Is that about
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay, when's the last time he held a job?
Last year. It was last year. And
Okay,
they were laid off at the car place. The group was laid.
okay. How does he spend his days?
Usually looking for a job. He has odd things now and then on the internet. A lot of times, just like I said, he helps to pick the kids up, drop them off, cook for them, get her to practice if the other one goes out. So he does a lot of that because I'm in IT, so I have a lot of long hours. So he helps along with that to kind of support me while he's looking for a job. We're actually looking for an apartment. We're in Alpharetta. It's very expensive. So that's why I said you could stay here, but you really have to help me out.
Okay, thank you for being here this afternoon, Ms. Holder.
You're welcome. Thank you, sir.
Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, Mr. Rashawn Pass is 24 years old. That is his address at 10105 West Side Parkway, unit, I believe it's 117. And he is aware, of course, and is doing the other case that was mentioned. He had been doing some valet parking for one of the dealerships. He's taking about 15 hours per week of work online to work towards his bachelor's degree. We would ask the court to set an appropriate bond on this. Thank you.
Okay, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 day anger awareness. I want you to continue to actively seek employment, Mr. Pass. No further violent contact with your sister. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you for being here, Ms. Holder. Good luck to you as well.
You're welcome, sir. Have a good day.
You too.
Position number 16, Vaughn, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Vaughn. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0000523F with battery against a female who is pregnant and simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Harvey?
Yes, Your Honor. 7 cycles. Last arrest was September 5th, 2024 out of Fulton County for battery. That does appear to be open under 24 CR 006320B as in boy, and for an open case for financial identity fraud and forgery under 23 SC 187352. Does have a 2024 conviction for simple battery family violence. FTAs from 2023 and 2025 as well, Your Honor, and nothing further to add.
Ellen.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is actually an incident from October of 2024. The date it was reported was October the 20th. What you just heard from pretrial is that in June of 2024, the defendant was convicted of simple battery family violence against a different woman. So he's currently under sentence for that case, and he's been ordered to complete FVIP and have no contact with her. Her last name is Lovett. He was arrested and then released in June of this year. Oh, hold on. He was arrested in September for an August incident this year, Your Honor, and that's the open case, 24 CR 006320B, and that is against this same victim, Jalea Martin. So he's currently out on bond given to him by Judge Law in September, requiring to have no contact with Jalea Martin. He shares a child with her and to stay away from 6 Rockmart Drive Southwest. The incident in front of you is, again, from October, so a month after his release on bond on the case that's currently open with this young woman, where he was ordered to have no contact with her. Police were called at about 1 in the morning to 644 Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard Northwest. The victim on scene reported that she'd received texts from the defendant. She went to go meet him. He told her that there was a lady that she didn't like up at the store. She went up to the store and she encountered the defendant there. He physically assaulted her as he followed her into the store. He struck her in the head multiple times, in her sides, in her body, including her stomach and her legs, punching her. She reported that she was 3 months pregnant at the time. She was taken to Grady and attended to at that point. She also reported that she and the defendant share a 1-year-old. So what you have in front of you is a battery for, we'll see, assaulting someone who's pregnant. She was 3 months old there, at 3 months pregnant at the time. She was transported to Grady. And repeatedly punching her about her body there in the store at the location on October the 20th. So there's been a warrant out since this occurred. The defendant is now in violation of the bond in that 23 CR case or 24 CR case, excuse me. I keep saying that because in addition, in June of 2024, a case was dismissed when we were unable to locate the victim, the same victim, Jalea Martin. So there was a battery family violence 23 CR 008461B against the same victim that was null prost. And in that accusation, it's alleged that he caused bruising and swelling by grabbing her around her neck and choking her. And again, they share a child. So we spoke to Mrs. Martin, Mrs. Jalea Martin today. She says that she and the defendant are not currently in a relationship and that the information in the warrant is wrong. There was only a verbal argument. He never touched her physically. So essentially, she's letting us know that all the statements that are recorded and told to police on the scene and the treatment she received by Emory and EMS on the scene never happened or were the result of lies. Your Honor, we would argue just the fact that there are now 3 cases at least with this defendant and this victim, and he's got a prior simple battery conviction against another woman that he is still under sentence for. Her best interests are not to have continued contact with this defendant, especially since they now have a child and she, just by the math, is still pregnant with the baby she was pregnant with in September. Of course, if you would call for Mrs. Martin, you can hear from her. We're asking for a $10,000 surety, Your Honor. Absolutely no contact with Ms. Martin or the children, to stay away from wherever it is she may be living, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. So he's got an open ID fraud 23 SC case in felony court that he's now in violation of for having a new case. He's under sentence for simple battery family violence in that 19 CR case because he just pled guilty in June. And now he's in violation of that case, and he's in violation of the bond on the 24 CR 006230B case with the same victim. Thank you.
Ms. Allen, the open battery charge, what is the amount of, I take it that it's a surety bond. What is the amount of the surety bond?
He has a $5,000 good bond right now that he was given by Judge Law September the 9th. No,
Okay.
September the 6th, Your Honor.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Ms. Martin, I see you on the line. If you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. You'd have to activate your camera, unmute yourself.
It says it's disabled. I can't open up my
Okay.
video.
Hold on, we'll have somebody do that for you. Can we allow Ms. Martin? Okay, there you go. Can you raise your right hand for me, please, ma'am? Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury? Ms. Martin?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What would you like to tell the court? You can place your hand down.
Okay, so what me and her had talked about on the phone, she's correct about that. I was just really upset. That the day that it happened in October, me and this girl had actually got into it, and he wasn't calling me up there to start anything with her or with him. I actually was upset that day and angry at him for being up there, and she was around, but she ended up leaving. He was just calling me to let me know that he was don't come up there basically because he didn't want me to get into it with her because I was pregnant. I'm pregnant with his child now. Once again, we have a one daughter. She's gonna be 2, and I'm 7 months pregnant now. And back then I was 3 months. But we don't have contact unless it's about our kids and it's over the phone. But he's been applying for jobs, and I requested 3 times. I'm not sure the young lady I spoke with, but I requested 3 times. I did not want to press charges. I did not go to any hospital about the situation because I knew that the situation was, I mean, I guess I could say a lie. I put myself in that position to go up there. We got into it, like I said, verbally. Um, I wanted to just say, I would like to drop the charges on my behalf because I know I was in the wrong for, calling the police and giving them the statement that I gave them, knowing that it was a lie. It did not happen like that. Once again, we have 2 kids, well, one on the way, and he has 2 upcoming job interviews that has came to my phone yesterday morning. This week he has 2 interviews, and I need his help. I'm unemployed right now, and I'm not stable enough to take care of my 2 kids by myself. He helps out a lot, dealing with sending me money because we wasn't able to be around each other. Um, I'm not sure if you can give him a signature bond or not, but I don't think he deserved to be in there right now, and I need him by my side, like helping me with his kids.
Just say this. First off, Miss Martin, you're supposed to have no contact at this point in time. Okay. So you're
Yeah.
telling me, listen, I don't want
No,
you to
I
talk.
don't
No,
talk to
do
him
not
over the
talk to me.
phone. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
do not say anything more. Let me talk to you. Okay.
Mhm.
You're a grown woman.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir.
I care more about your kid.
Mhm.
Okay? And this is no way to be raising that young child. You're to have no contact whatsoever with Mr. Vaughn at this point in time by order of another judge. No contact means absolutely no contact. Obviously, no physical contact, no phone contact, no internet contact, no email contact, no social media contact, no contact whatsoever until all of this is resolved. This is not just going to be dropped, okay? So if you're telling me and you're on YouTube, you're telling me that you have lied not only to the police, but you have lied to the solicitor's office. They can prosecute you for that. But you're not to have any contact with Mr.
Actually,
Vaughn. No, Miss Martin. I don't want you talking anymore. This is my turn. Okay? You're not doing him any good by being around him because he's going to end up right back where he was or where he is right now. So if you go up to wherever he is or try and something happens, then he's the one that's going to end up right back where he is. Okay? No contact means absolutely no contact, which is what I'm going to order as well. All right? Thank you for being here this afternoon, ma'am. Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, Mr. Gregory Vaughn is from Georgia. He's 25 years old. We understand what the arrest record, conviction record is. Your Honor, he does electrical work. He's currently looking for more electrical work. There are various sources from which you get referrals to do that, these skilled electrician type things. And we would ask the court to set as low a bond as possible under these circumstances, whether that would be a signature bond or even a $1,000 or $2,000 surety.
Okay. For the battery against a female who is pregnant, it's going to be an $8,000 good bond. For the simple battery, it's going to be a $2,000 good bond. Makes for a total of a $10,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Martin. Stay away from her residential address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you all. Who do we have next?
Judge, I have a couple of announcements for you.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead and have a seat.
Come on, Mr. Come on.
Position number 2, Brian Beck got transferred to felony.
Okay.
Also for position number 15, they waived their appearance. That's Jesse Vanis. Also for position number 17, that's an NOD.
Okay. All right, so that just leaves us with position number 15 to handle. And is that right?
Your Honor, so Brian Beck had 2 separate cases. The battery family violence was transferred to felony, but he also had a simple assault family violence with a different victim. And that case, I don't think was transferred. But someone can correct me if it was for some reason.
And the Walker case was not NOD'd. 1 count of 3 was dismissed. She's got 2 other counts that are active. There's a CR number.
For what position, Ms. Allen?
On the Walker case, number 17,
Okay.
count 3 was an NOD. Count 1 and 2 were active.
Okay, they gave me the wrong information.
It's confusing. No problem.
Okay, so are we going to be able to deal with Walker and Beck?
Well, Walker actually did waive their appearance anyways.
Right.
So,
Okay, so we can deal with Walker.
yep.
And what about Beck?
I don't think I interviewed Mr. Beck.
And then I was told Beck got transferred to felony.
Okay, so apparently we have 1 misdemeanor charge that we're gonna need to deal with. So either we can deal with it. I'm not sure if is there a Riverside issue if we don't deal with it today?
For position number 2.
Yes.
So which so the only charge that, okay.
The simple assault family violence is the charge that should still be in misdemeanor court.
Okay.
Well,
And it looks like he's been in custody since yesterday.
so I think it's okay. I don't think it's going to be a Riverside issue, Your Honor.
Okay, so can we put Mr. Beck on tomorrow's calendar, 2/4, and we can deal with him then? Is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
That's okay with me, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. So let's go to first to position number 15. Jesse Vanis, charged in case 25 CR 0000536F with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Harvey?
Yes, Your Honor. 22 cycles. Last arrest October 6, 2023 out of Clayton County for FTA. Convictions from 2020 for possession of cocaine. 2015 theft by shoplifting and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. 2014 simple battery and criminal trespass. 2013 possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Also has 15 cycles out of Illinois. 2007 conviction out of Illinois for retail theft, and 2004 conviction for retail theft. And nothing further.
Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This individual has a substantial history that relates to theft, drug objects, drug use, and public indecency, as well as multiple failure to appears. We'd ask for a social worker visit first and foremost. We're also asking for $1,000 surety, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and to stay away from the location. 11515 Alpharetta Highway. This is a racetrack gas station. The defendant had been criminally trespassed on the 31st of January, and on yesterday's date was found in the women's bathroom and refused to leave.
McLean?
Yeah, sure, that's all correct. This is a psychiatric situation. He needs a social worker visit, probably. Very well may need to go to the competency calendar. He's been dealing with Grady and group homes. I think it could be even organic at this point.
Okay, do you want me to go ahead and place him on the competency calendar today, Mr. McLean?
I think that would be efficient. I think that would save time. I think it's going there anyway.
Okay, Ms. Bridgewater, when will the next competency calendar be?
It's gonna be February the 5th. I'm sorry, no. February the 20th.
Okay. So for this case, it'll be $1,000 good bond, a social worker visit for an MHET, placed on the competency calendar for February 20th. Stay away from the racetrack on Alpharetta Highway. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Okay, the other waivers, position number 17, Rakima Walker, charged in case 25 CR 0000538E with certain acts on a bus rail station that are prohibited and criminal trespass. Their history, Ms. Harvey?
Yes, Your Honor. 9 cycles. Last arrest was August 21st, 2024 out of Brookhaven, Georgia, for possession and use of drug-related objects and theft by receiving stolen property. That does appear to be an open case. Defendant is on probation out of Fulton County for criminal trespass and battery, sentenced March 12, 2024 to 12 months probation. In addition, there's a 2024 conviction out of Clayton County for criminal trespass and 2 FTAs, one from 2022 and one from 2024. There are also 6 cycles out of Louisiana, a 2018 conviction for home invasion, and 2021 unauthorized entry into a dwelling, both out of Louisiana. Nothing further.
Ms. Allen?
Your Honor, this is a similar request. We're asking for a $2,000 surety to stay away from all MARTA. This defendant has a permanent ban already from all MARTA. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and social worker visit or mental health evaluation or competency. I'm not sure if the court has a history for this person. I do note that their last battery conviction is for an incident at MARTA. So it makes sense that there's a permanent ban. On the 1st of February at the West End Station, that's 680 Lee Street Southwest, the defendant is seen by officers, and it's captured on surveillance as she lights trash on fire and throws the trash onto the tracks. That's how police made contact with her. She was in an area that's not safe, doing unsafe behavior and endangering the public, but also herself. And she was there on property in violation of the permanent ban. So we'd ask for some kind of evaluation in addition to that surety bond, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. McLean?
Yeah, we agree. I was trying to get hold of Sydney Walker, who is a relative, never could reach the person. I've got a phone number. I hope the digits are all accurate, but it's going to end up on the competency calendar. It's just not much different than the case we just heard before. He works up, he cleans up gas stations sometimes. He told me he went to college. I kind of have my doubts.
Okay, so we'll place him on that same competency calendar on February 20th. As for the bond, it'll be $1,000 good bond at each charge, makes for a total of a $2,000 good bond. Stay away from MARTA, a social worker visit, for an MHET, February 20th competency calendar, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. All right, I believe that completes the 2 o'clock calendar. Miss,
Oh, Your Honor.
yes.
Paperwork wise, we've done the waivers. They don't always get forwarded correctly, but we've done the waivers ready to forward to you. So you may see them pop up hopefully in the email. We've been having some computer problems.
Okay, as long as you assure me, Mr. McLean, that the waivers will be forthcoming. I appreciate it.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. Let's push the button.
Okay, all right, very good. Yes, Bridgewater, whenever you're ready for us.
Great. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is February the 18th. Position number 1 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $3,000 good bond. Position 2 is going to be reset till tomorrow. Position 3 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 4 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $1,500 good bond. Position 5 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 6 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 7 reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 8 reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. 9 reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 10 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $2,000 good bond. 11 is reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 12 reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 13 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $1,500 good bond. 14 reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 15 is going to the comp calendar, which is February the 20th, with a $1,000 good bond. 16, SAP calendar with a total $10,000 good bond. 17 is also going to the comp calendar with a $2,000 good bond. 18 is being reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
Thank you, Ms. Bridgewater.
You're quite welcome.
Nice to see you, Ms. Kim.
Good to see you too.
Welcome
Good to
back,
see you.
Ms. Kim.
Thank you.
Is it welcome back or just today? Wait a minute. Don't get
Just
me
this
excited.
week only until Monday through Thursday.
Well, we'll take it either way.
Yes, we will. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll see y'all. I'll see you day after tomorrow. I'm taking tomorrow off.
Oh, good for you. Take care. Enjoy.
See y'all tomorrow.
Thank you, everyone.